May I ask,
Testing.
somebody who used to be a city manager, somebody who used to be a writer.
I'm ready. Deshaun, you want me to? I'll just turn it off here. You can leave it on. I'll turn the button.
Welcome to Boulder City City Council. Call the meeting to order. Madam City Clerk, confirmation, posting, and roll call.
Yes, thank you. The agenda was posted in accordance with Nevada open meeting law, and Council Member Steve Walton is absent from the meeting.
Thank you. And we would like to invite Pastor Kurt Hedlund of the Bethany Baptist Church to offer our invocation. After he has done and we've said amen, remain standing and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we are thankful that we are citizens of this country, Nevadans and residents and citizens of Boulder City. We're grateful for all of the blessings that you have put forth upon us, the physical, material blessings, the human resources. As we approach graduation season, we pray that you would guide our graduates as they make decisions about their future. We're thankful for the Rotarians and other volunteers who see to it that our high school graduates get a great graduation party. May it be a memorable event this year. We're thankful that we have a new city manager. We realize that he's not new to the area, but we pray that you would supernaturally enable him to have insight into the people he's working with, the people in city government, the employees, and the residents of this town. We pray that you would guide the city council members in decisions that are made tonight. May they have insight into the issues before them. Guide this meeting, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the way of public announcements, before we have public comment, this week is National Police Week, and we likewise recognize our National Week, our Police National Week here in Boulder City. And we have obviously been blessed. We just had another police officer sworn in just the other day. And what a great opportunity we have to have our men and women in blue there to help us, protect us, answer our calls. When I say our, I mean we collectively as the city. And we have been very blessed in Boulder City for who we have as people, who many live right here and are neighbors. And we recently had an incident where people were in another jurisdiction responded right here in Boulder City. So we are very grateful for those people wherever they are, and we recognize obviously that some have literally given their life while living and literally given their life in our defense. So we appreciate our people who have been so good at protecting us, and we recognize the people we have here. We always have people here in our meetings, and we appreciate them. And I think it would be appropriate to open this up to our fellow council people if they would like to say anything particular about our men and women in blue in this National Police Week. Anyone would like to say anything?
I would.
Go ahead.
I just think it's such a blessing to live in Boulder City, and I feel the police officers in Boulder City are our friends and our savers sometimes when we need them, but we always know they're out there, and so appreciate their kindness and that their approachability. I haven't met one police officer you just can't walk up to and start talking in all the years that I've been here. So I would like to thank all of them and let them know that I truly do appreciate them, and I know Boulder City does appreciate all of them also. Sometimes they give you a ticket when you don't want one, but they're still they're still our friends, and we still appreciate you. And that's what I'd like to say about the police department. I appreciate them.
Thank you.
So when the officer was sworn in the other, I guess that was yesterday morning, I was telling him I was reading my Bible yesterday morning, and I fell on the passage, 1 Timothy 2:1, and it says, pray for those in authority. And I prayed for the police because they are in authority, and sometimes that's a hard job, and a lot of people don't realize that you're putting your life on the line, leaving your family home to protect another family. So I just wanted to let you know you're in my prayers, and I thank you so much for what you do. And if anybody on this dais can help you in any kind of way, we're all for that. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I know there's two of you here tonight. Please take that back to everyone, how much we appreciate you here in this city. Sometimes we might take for granted that we're pretty much the safest city in Nevada, and a great place to live. But there's a reason for that, and the reason is that you guys show up, and the way that you show up is so much appreciated. Whenever I'm near the schools, I see you guys there, and I see how you even interact sometimes with the kids and the parents and the people that are there. And yeah, again, sometimes you might get a ticket. You may not like it, but you might deserve it. And that might help us to remember that you do care. You do care if we're safe. You do care that we are doing what we should so that we can keep our community safe. So I appreciate everything our council people and mayor have said, because I echo it all, and thank you.
Thank you all. I think we're going to stand up. Thank you. Thank you. We will now move, I'm going to have the council come forward. We have a microphone that Holly's going to turn on for us, and we are going to recognize Jackie Mays. If she would come forward and bring anybody here that she's related to forward, that would be a great photo op. Thank you.
I love your face.
So Jackie, would you like to invite anybody up here that you may be related to?
That I may be related to? Michael?
Oh, that would be great. And you notice he has your talk written out for you, all the wonderful things that he's done.
No, it's fine.
So before we go too far, we have I think you need to be in the middle here.
Okay.
Yeah, come on. So Michael, as you are aware, is our former city manager acting, and so he's very good at acting. And we appreciate you, Michael, here. And I understand that Jackie and you both love good pie in Las Vegas, so we've provided something in some way, at least a picture. I don't know if we've got anything that goes with it, but we got a picture of it. And we also have a picture of, I don't know how to pronounce, HUDL, Huddle, and there's a gift card, and again, it's a picture of a gift card, so good luck with that. That's for you. And then, Michael, you can open your plaque, as it were, because everybody deserves a plaque who's been doing as well as you have. And so, Jackie, I'm going to give now you can say something good about the person who you're related to.
Well, I know Michael loves this city more than almost anything or anyone. He's totally dedicated, and I am very proud of him for his service in all forms to this city, and proud to call him my husband.
Well, Mayor, I had kind of a little speech.
Of course you did. You said little.
It's big print.
Mayor, City Council, we very much appreciate this recognition. I think it's something that you said, Mayor, over and over again. We are a great team. And it's through teamwork that we have accomplished so much over the last year. Thank you, Mayor Hardy and members of City Council, for your support. I greatly appreciated it. I also want to thank our City Clerk, Tammy McKay, and our City Attorney, Brittany Walker. I always referred to them as my brain trust. I would go to them, and they were a great sounding board. and I got great feedback from him while I was acting city manager, so thank you. There is an African proverb that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We could not have accomplished everything we did this past year without the hard work and dedication of my fellow department heads and division managers, so I thank them very much. Wearing multiple hats during the past year, I relied heavily on my community development department and your support. I see you in the audience. Thank you very, very much. I'm internally grateful for your support in helping me through that transition. And then the best executive administrative assistant in the world, Crystal, thank you for all your support. Last but not least, Mayor, as you've commented, we would not be successful without our better half. To my wife, Jackie, thank you for your support over the last 30 years of me being a public servant. This can be a big ask sometimes, because when we're serving the community, that sometimes means time away from the family, and so I appreciate all of your support for 30 years. In closing, I just want to say that I love serving Boulder City and its citizens, and now I'm looking forward to serving under our new city manager, Ned Thomas, so thank you all very much.
Thank you, Michael. I think we're going to have a picture, and I didn't pick those out just all by myself, okay?
This is so wonderful and totally surprising.
Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Mayor Hardy.
We ran into the
Thank you, Jackie. I know. I don't understand.
Me either.
For a lot of reasons.
You know, I remember that lady named Honey. She has autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, her name's Honey, right? Yeah.
Okay, we did that. Also in the way of announcements, some of you may be aware of the fact-finding, the things that the city is going through now, trying to be totally transparent and trying to get as much input and as many opinions as we can. We, the council, have not made any decisions on parking and what things are happening, but that is a process. And we are in the process, including, I think we have a meeting this coming Monday at 5 o'clock at the Smith Building, where we invite people to come, and it'll be a big group and then smaller groups. But we invite everybody to come and to have opinions and to share what we can do and should do and want to do. So we are very anxious to keep hearing, and our Public Works Director, I didn't get up to see if he was leaving on time this morning, but I understand he got up and was showing a way that it could look at 5 o'clock this morning. So that has not been decided by the council, but we, the council, I'm sure, are appreciative of everything that our public works people are doing and seeking out information and feedback as much as we can before any decision is made. And we appreciate city manager being involved with that process. But we're grateful for the people who have had the time and ability and the petitions, whatever. We are grateful for everyone who has had input, because that's what we do, we represent. And so we're grateful for all of those. I think I've shot my wad now. And now, after public announcements, we would open up the first public comment period regarding anything that's on the agenda today. So if you have anything to say about the agenda today, come forward and take your time. And if you want to call in, 702-589-9629. Is there anyone on the phone now? Okay. So anybody who wants to come forward now, you can consider it for the next 12 seconds, and then we'll move on. Seeing no one coming forward in public comment, is there still no one on the line? We will close public comment and go to possible action, approval of the regular agenda.
I move to approve the regular agenda.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Unanimous. Thank you. And then we move to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed say nay. Thank you. Unanimous again. Brings us to the regular agenda, presentation number 6 by our city manager, Ned Thomas.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. It's my pleasure to be here tonight as your city manager, Ned Thomas, and I will be providing you with a status update on the Boulder City 2030 Strategic Implementation Plan. And as you'll recall, the council approved this back in October 2024. Progress is already being made over the past 6 months. We will be giving the council quarterly updates on our progress on the strategic plan. So tonight will just be a brief presentation on, and certainly not an exhaustive list. You have all of the details in your meeting packet, but I do want to cover some of the highlights. And the blue dot, there we go. So we'll start just by giving a little bit of an overview. You'll recall that there are 7 goals. 5 of them are here, 2 on the next slide. And each of the goals has a number of strategies underneath them. So as I go through the presentation, I won't read each of these, but as I go through the presentation, I will refer to the goal and then which strategy that it falls under. So we've got the 5 here and then 2 more related, you see there. And let me jump into the first one, is related to providing high-quality recreation and tourism offerings for residents and visitors. Under Strategy 2, we discuss there are several recreational projects that are currently underway. I think you, as a council and the public, are aware of these. We are in the planning stages of the turf reduction project at the municipal golf course. That was a subject of much discussion last year. We're also in construction already on the pickleball courts at Veterans Memorial Park, as well as playground renovations at Del Prado Playground. Also under this under this goal, Strategy 4 refers to probably arguably one of the largest projects that will be a matter of public attention over the next few years. And this is our new pool construction. This was, of course, approved by the voters in a ballot question. The money is in the bank, ready to go. Staff has developed a schedule for the completion of this project, and we will be putting more information on the city's website related to this, hopefully in a graphic form that will be kind of fun for people to watch as we continue to make progress on the pool. So far, we're working on selecting the design consultant. They've completed what they call a 30% design. So the full design drawings would be 100%. So we do 30% so that then that can go out to what is known as the C. It's a acronym, and CMAR. I would need help to know what that stands for. Do you know, Brittany? I should have looked it up.
Construction Manager at Risk.
Of course, construction manager at risk. So they need the 30% plans in order for that, the next consultant to take that and then be able to further develop the plans. And again, we will provide some additional resources on the city's website and continue to put out press releases as we make progress on this very important project. We are still on target for completion date in 2028. I did attend the Bubble Down this year, and I understand people are quite excited. There may be one more Bubble Down next year, but we look forward to having the new pool when that will no longer be necessary. On the next slide, we'll go to the next goal, which is to achieve prudent financial stewardship. I would say we'll continue to achieve prudent financial stewardship. We have tonight we will discuss we'll have an opportunity to discuss or at least present an update on the budget. It's a balanced budget that we're presenting to the council for fiscal year 26. That will come back to you for adoption at a future meeting. That's under strategy 2. Strategy 4 is about transparency. The city did receive a Good Government Award, Cashman Good Government Award this year for our work in our finance department. And we've also published a new information booklet, I'll call it, on our website about the city's special revenue fund so that people can go there and learn more about those funds, what are the balances in those funds, and how are they used. Again, with the goal toward stewardship, and in this case, transparency. Next, we'll look at the goal of maintaining community character through the growth control ordinance. Under strategy 1, we want to reduce barriers to different types of housing, consistent with the growth control ordinance. The city is working with LWC, that's Lisa Wise Consulting Group, to update Title 11, which is the city's zoning ordinance. And that's a way of, every once in a while, you want to review your zoning ordinance and zoning regulations to make sure that they're consistent with the goals the city is trying to achieve. And this project will update in updating the ordinance, will make it consistent with current practice, as well as trying to weed out any inconsistencies or barriers to achieving the city's goals in housing. And then strategy 4, streamlining the business licensing services. So there's a number of I'll call them internal initiatives or internal meetings that are underway. Our fire, public works, utilities, and the community development department meet quarterly now to discuss any of the customer service issues that might have come, and just to discuss, make customer service a topic that's front and center in everyone's mind, and any issues that have come up that we are aware of. As we receive emails from the community, then those would be addressed in that meeting. And the other one that I think is a best practice is what we refer to as a private project review meeting. So anytime a new project will come in, the different departments will get together with the applicant and talk through their comments so that everyone is on the same page. That tends or always results in everyone understanding what the comments are and what the applicant will understand what they need to do, and if there are any questions or if it's unclear, then they can ask those questions in the meeting, and it helps everyone to communicate better. Moving on to historic preservation. This past weekend, we had a Historic Preservation Week, and a number of different activities were going on. In addition to that, last November, a letter went out to all property owners in the historic district to inform them that many of them, if they were new and they did not know that they were in the historic district, that they would understand. The letter is quite detailed in what is the historic district, what are the additional rules or regulations, or I would say the additional stewardship that is the responsibility that falls upon property owners in that area. And then also related to that, the third bullet point is in April, there was our community development staff provided a workshop to all of the realtors. They had a pretty good turnout on historic preservation and all of those same topics. What is our historic preservation ordinance? What are the requirements? So that as the realtors are out showing houses in that area, that they can be knowledgeable about and share with their clients what the obligations are in that area. Next, we'll look at dependable and reliable infrastructure. We have a number of projects that are underway here. I'll skip down to strategy 4 at the bottom. If you've been on Nevada Way coming into Boulder City, the 12 kV extension project is underway. The traffic has not been impeded in any way, but as I watch it over the past 2 months month as I've driven into town, I see them making gradual progress all along the street as they're extending that or providing that extension project. And then, as the mayor mentioned, there's a Nevada Way, we'll call it the rehabilitation or the upgrade on Nevada Way, and there's a number of different goals in that project. I won't go over all of them here, but that project is also well underway and will be coming back to the council for discussion and a decision at a future meeting. And then various types of water service replacements. Next, let me just touch upon public health and accessibility. Our Public Works Department continues to work on a number of ADA improvements following the Accessibility Working Group's recommendations. Those include pedestrian safety upgrades and a number of ADA access improvements here at City Hall. We appreciate the work that our Public Works Director, Gary Poindexter, and his staff are doing along that. And it's also, I mentioned the Nevada Way project. In addition to rehabilitating the roadway, there's a number of components of that project that will also address ADA access along the sidewalks in that important area of downtown. And last but not least, public safety, a number of different things here. Our fire department they started a new reserve academy. There's a number of cadets that started back on March 8, 2025. It's a great program that's been in place for a number of years and continues to serve not only Boulder City, but a number of the other departments in the region. And then our police department they have conducted an assessment on an accreditation availability for Nevada agencies, and they've submitted for consideration. I'll just add to that, of course, whenever we talk about public safety, last week we concluded a first round of interviews for our new police chief, and that progress is being made on that front as well. So looking at what's next, again, we'll continue working on these projects as well as a host of others. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I will provide quarterly updates to the council on implementation of the strategic plan. And I'll just add quickly that as city manager, it was nice to come into a city that has the strategic plan in place. It was sort of like, here's your work plan for the next 5 years. And I really appreciate having that work done. Thank you.
Just in case the police chief thinks he's getting supplanted, new fire chief.
Oh, excuse me. I
But
misspoke.
that
Yeah.
added some excitement for him.
Yeah. I always want to keep Tim on his toes. So yes, we appreciate both. We appreciate Acting Chief Chesser as well. And yeah, the process is well underway. But thank you for the correction. Just seeing if you were listening.
Any questions? Any comments? Go ahead.
Sorry, here I am back since I had the correction. The 12 kV project, are we on schedule to finish on time? Do you know?
I believe we are. I haven't spoken to you.
And that finish
Gary's
time, so people kind of get an idea?
When we call it?
June.
June.
That's right around the corner, so we can look forward to that. Great. I so appreciate hearing the progress that we're making. I'm glad it's going to be quarterly. That's so helpful. This is new. This is the new plan that we implemented, so it's kind of nice to see how it's progressing. A lot of yellow right now. I think that that's normal for the beginning of a plan. So I look forward to seeing how it progresses. And the pool, 2028, no, just one more bubble down. Maybe that's what our graphic can be, a bubble. So thank you and welcome, and I'm glad you're here, and I feel like it's been a smooth transition. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ned. I think you're working very well together, so thank you.
Thank you.
I too like to see the progress we're doing. There is a lot of yellow, but that's a good thing. We've got started. And I too appreciate you and really enjoyed you at Bark in the Park and your little dog Willow. And so has a lot of talents that we didn't know about. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
My turn? Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to finish. I have a question on the diverse housing types. What does that mean? Diverse housing type, is that how much houses cost, where they would be, what type of building they would be? What's the diversity on the housing types?
Yeah, I would say all of the above. It's single family as well as, we refer to it as multifamily in planning world. And that often is used as a yardstick for affordability. And we would also say a variety of housing types, both executive level as well as starter homes. And then also for families as well as small families as well as large families and different types of living arrangements that people may have. So you want to be able to provide all of those different types in the community so that there's balance.
Okay. And then on the project review meeting with the applicants, that's huge. Thank you for doing that. I mean, I get a lot of people who come up to me, especially in our Tuesday meetings, that just want more transparency, want more help as they're coming in and, whatever they're doing, whether it's a business or a resident, with HOAs, all those things. So having that meeting up front, you could have all that solved in one, stop shop type. So I appreciate you doing that. And the historic, you said you had a November letter. Is that going to go out monthly or is that yearly?
That was a letter that went out. I guess we could do it on a regular basis. It was my understanding that was the first letter that went out in quite some time. But I think it would be good to have that maybe on a regular basis, to send out that type of letter. It's really to raise awareness of the historic preservation ordinance as well as the district and the boundaries of the district and what are the obligations when you live in that area.
Thank you. And the last one I have is the ADA improvements. Kudos, because that's something that needs to be done. We have an aging community. I broke my toe, the attorney broke her foot, and we kind of really felt how it feels when you can't just walk straight down the road or you have to go a back way. And so that is something that really needs to be done, and I'm so glad that we're giving the ADA group that attention. So thank you for doing that,
Yeah,
too.
one of the first groups I met with was the ADA working group, and yeah, that's my commitment to them, that we'll continue to listen to them and to include them in our conversations in kind of an informal way, but they have a lot of personal knowledge about that topic, and I think it will make all of our projects better if we continue to engage them in some type of a way moving forward, both public and private projects.
Okay, and I too just want to welcome you. You have been around to different groups. You came to my Tuesday group, which was fun, and people got to meet you, kind of hot seat there. But thank you for coming on board. And again, if you need anything, we're here to help.
I am constantly amazed and impressed by what I find in Boulder City. So it's been a great pleasure for a month to search high and low and to learn more about the city. Thank you. Great staff.
Thank you. Any other questions? Keep up your good work. You hit the ground running, and
Well, it's the staff that does all the work.
you had a good path laid out for you, and we appreciate
Thank you.
going on. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mr. Thomas. And brings us to number 7 on our agenda, which is a bill introduction, bill number 2079. I would accept a motion to waive the reading except for title.
I move to introduce Bill number 2079, waive the reading except for title.
Is there a second?
We don't need a second.
It's done. And that goes to number,
Bill number 2079, an ordinance of the City of Boulder City, Nevada, amending Title VII, Police Regulations, Chapter 5, Public Land Use of the Boulder City Municipal Code to prohibit camping, sleeping, and storing personal property in a public place. This matter will be considered at the May 27th, 2025 City Council meeting.
thank you. Brings us to regular business number 8. Presentation and discussion, staff directive.
Hello, Angela Mannanen, Budget Manager, to present where we currently are on the budget for fiscal year 26. So when we met with the residents and also the Utility Advisory Committee at the budget workshops, there were no recommendations for changes. Also, there's been no financial changes to the budget since the special council meeting on April 15th. Only unknown costs currently in the budget is labor negotiations. Parks and Rec decided to not fill an unfilled part-time Percival position. That was a head count of 0.8. And so by removing that position, our new head count is 224.4.
And that doesn't change the budget at all by removing 0.8.
So it was a part-time position, so it really just stayed with the potential for still having a part-time employee without paying them PERS. So it's still in the temporary line. It's just not giving them benefits, but still having them have the ability to hire someone part-time if they needed to. And that's the reason it didn't change the funding.
Didn't change the funding, but changed the head count.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And so that 224.4 is only 0.4 higher than the headcount for fiscal year 25. The general fund budgeted revenues is $46.1 million, and 35% of that comes from our lease revenues at $16.3 million, and 33% comes from the consolidated tax at $15.3 million, and the consolidated tax comes from the state. Our budgeted expenses are $46.8 million, and of that, close to 70% are salaries and benefits. There is a transfer out from the general fund to acquisitions and improvements of $1.5 million to support capital improvement projects. There's also a contingency in the general fund of $1.3 million, and this money can only be spent with council's approval. In fiscal year 25, we're estimating about $1 million in savings and expenses that won't be spent this year. So even though the revenues are a little less than expenses next year, we believe the fund balance of the general fund will stay at $26 million. So for all the governmental funds, all funds are positive and all reserves are funded as needed. We only have the one transfer out from the general fund of the $1.5 million for capital improvement. We also have the annual $1 million transferring out from the voter approved fund to also support capital improvement. So for the enterprise funds, all fund balances are positive and all reserves are funded. In fiscal year 26, the expenses are higher than revenues for our enterprise funds, and that has to do with capital projects that were planned. So the years that revenues were higher than expenses, that money was set aside for preparation for these projects because the city is pay-go, so we have to save money to have the projects. And then there'll be a utility rate study planned in fiscal year 26 that will be implemented in fiscal year 27. And this is a calendar showing the status of the process of our budget cycle for this year. So here we are, May 13th at the council meeting. There'll be publication of the public hearing and the newspaper in the Review Journal on the 15th. And then on May 27th at the regular council meeting, it will be the public hearing and then approval of the final budget and classification and comps. And then we'll mail the budget to state and we'll implement it. And then I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns you might have on the fiscal year 26 budget.
Thank you. So suffice it to say, we're not incurring any new debt.
Nope.
And I think we only have the water line as we're paying off, and we have the resources to do that. And so from a fiscally conservative standpoint, we're doing pretty good.
Yes.
Any questions or concerns? Go ahead.
I hope everybody goes online and reads the special revenue booklet because it's really well written, and I just wanted to thank you for that. I think that people will understand it better if they'll read that booklet. Thank you, Finance.
So on the utility rate study, you said it's going to be done in 26, 4, 27. Is that every 2 years you do that?
It's typically between 3 and 5 years, depending on how many changes. Our last rate study was done a little earlier. It was done at 3 years. This one we're doing a little earlier too. Just there's been so many changes that it's the CIP costs and just many things changed since our last cycle, and so it's just time to do a new one and make sure that we're planning correctly.
Thank you.
just for my well-being, help me to understand. So you're doing a part-time job, or a part-time employee, which is considered 0.5?
No,
No, 0.8?
nope.
What are they considered?
For budget purposes, 0, because they're part-time, they're basically not on calls, because some of them do have a schedule. It's just the money's there in case Parks and Rec needs to hire a part-time person, but a part-time personable person works over 32 hours a week. So it's a lot more commitment. They're guaranteed retirement benefits, and it's really a guaranteed position. You're not going to, people would rely more.
So the position that you're asking for then, the only one, is there only one position being asked for, and is that the utility?
The fleet supervisor is the only position being asked for in fiscal year 26.
And it adds 0.4?
It adds 1 head count. So Parks and Rec got rid of, eliminated 2 part-time principal positions for fiscal year 26, which reduced the head count by 1.6. There's the increase of the fleet supervisor of 1, and then outside of the budget process a couple of years ago, there was a police officer added, and so that was never added to the head count, and this is just increasing the head count for that officer. So
Okay.
it's 2 minus 1.6, that's where we get to the
And so
0.4.
fiscally speaking, you say it changes nothing.
The original part-time principal position that did reduce the budget. The second one that was reduced did not reduce the budget to give Parks and Rec the flexibility to potentially hire a part-time person if they need to for that department.
And adding the 1 does not change the budget.
So that adding the 1, it does have a lot of savings. It's estimated in the first year to have $75,000 worth of savings. And so it does have some cost to the general fund. It's also shared with utilities, so that position would be about 75% general fund and 25% utilities. It was an estimated cost of about $100,000 for the general fund with the savings of 75. So there is an increased cost, and then there's also potential in the future of that the savings could be even greater as this person evolves in their position.
Okay. So again, I go with, just knowing, I'm so thankful that you're so conservative in how you look at your revenue streams and how you look at your expenses, and I so appreciate that. And having seen the graphs that you've given us and recognizing that we're stagnant for revenue for a couple of years, I so appreciate a balanced budget. And would love to keep that looking that way until we see an increase in revenues, and including our askings, right? So I appreciate how you explain that to me, because it feels a little bit more comfortable with the possibility of expense changes. But my main concern always will be the care and keeping of the current employees that we have, and not necessarily the addition of more coming forward if our revenue stream does not change. So thank you, I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So we have accepted the presentation and appreciate that. We'll move to number 9. Madam City Attorney.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and council members. Item 9 before you is another discussion update and possible direction regarding the 2025 Nevada legislative session. So since our last update, there have been 2 deadlines, the first House committee passage and first House passage, and bills that did not make it past those deadlines did not move forward. On the spreadsheet that is in the packet, the grayed out bills are the bills that did not move forward. There is another deadline coming up this Friday, the second House committee passage deadline. So bills that do not make it past that deadline will also not move forward. So this just has an update on where we stand with the bills. Most of the amendments did resolve our concerns on the bills that we did have concerns on. And so the spreadsheet is updated with our new positions, and other than that, the other positions have not changed. So with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions about Councilwoman Booth?
I had concerns, and maybe you can clarify it for everybody, about the multifamily conditional use.
Yes, so Assembly Bill 241, I believe is what you're referring to, and that is a bill proposed to require multifamily residential and commercial zoning districts. We have expressed to the bill sponsor and committee our concerns about mandating that type of use within that district. It takes away the city's zoning power if this bill were to pass, and so that those concerns have been communicated. We are working on an amendment, and so we're hopeful that we can still resolve those concerns before the end of session.
And then I have on AB 81, that's a big concern of mine, is that being a community where we do biking and boating and all the things that we do, and a lot of people go snow skiing after work. I used to go water skiing after work, so if we had less daylight, we wouldn't have those opportunities, and I think it would really be a disservice to our community and to a lot of the touristy communities because of the outdoor sports. So do we have any update on that one?
Yeah, so AB 81, bill would adopt permanent standard time so that there would not be a change. We would not be observing daylight savings time anymore. The time would stay in standard time, which would make it darker earlier in the summer. We wouldn't be springing forward, so we would be darker earlier in the summer. That bill did move to the Senate. It has to be scheduled for a hearing and passed by Friday in order to move forward. There has been a lot of opposition to that bill since it moved forward. It's my understanding we're not anticipating it to move forward, but it remains to be seen.
Have they scheduled a meeting yet?
No, it has not been scheduled. And if it's not by Friday, then it does not move forward.
Okay, so Thursday we'll know, you think?
I did ask the chair to see if that one, but I haven't heard back yet.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So I will say one of the challenges with that is if you live in Elko or Ely on that side of the state, they travel to Salt Lake for their everything that they do medically, etc. So they would be 2 hours difference in what they do. So they would have to get up way early to get up at the same time that they can see somebody in Salt Lake. So it is very problematic for a large part of the state should that be passed. So we obviously are supporting our people in the northeastern part of the state in opposing that bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I wasn't aware of that, so good information.
Any other comments? All right, thank you. Appreciate that report. And then that brings us to number 10 for possible action, City Council appointments. Madam City Clerk.
Yes, thank you. So as you'll recall, in December, City Council approved appointing Mayor Hardy to serve on the Southern Nevada Health District Board. The Health District has a different statute that governs that body, and it requires the composition of the Board of Health reorganized at the July meeting. So we would just ask if you would consider reappointing Mayor Hardy to this board and appointing a representative to serve on the Public Health Advisory Board. Resident Paul Klaus has been serving, and he's asked to continue serving. So he's asking that he be reappointed.
Wishes of council.
Separate motions or?
No, you could make those in one motion if you wanted.
Okay.
Because they say they both would serve the same term too, which is July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2027.
Okay, I move that Mayor Hardy and Mr. Klaus be reappointed to serve for the Southern Nevada Health District.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. It is unanimous. Thank you. Brings us to public comment. And this is the final public comment. And anyone here would like to come forward, welcome to do so. And anyone on the phone line, Madam City Clerk?
Not yet.
Okay.
Council, Brandon Smith, citizen of Boulder City. Just like to welcome Ned to our cozy little town here. And I just want to thank the council just in advance and in retrospect for your continued support throughout the community. You guys are amazingly accessible, and you do all you can do to try and help our little city be as good as it can be. I would like to bring up just another historic issue I think that probably needs some addressing as we've taken the steps to upgrade Nevada Way for the electrical KVA upgrade, so those businesses can be better served with their electricity needs. We are experiencing a bit of a dark corridor there, with some of the buildings being empty for long periods of time, falling into disrepair. Even our beloved Milo's has been dark now for a few months since Milo's passing, and it's kind of a little depressing to look at as you drive into the city. Certainly, as you're frequenting your restaurants on the main drag. And I'd like to see some sort of accountability there from the business owners or the owners of the buildings, where they might be held accountable for just, letting their buildings sitting there and rot, basically. So maybe some sort of vacancy tax or something. I mean, I think a reasonable amount of time for an owner to take ownership of a new space, and then consider what it will take to develop it, and then start implementing those upgrades or whatever they're going to do with their space. Obviously, it's private space, so the council has limited ability to demand that they do something with their space. But I think because Nevada Way is the corridor to our inner sanctum, so to speak, I think it's important, as the touristy town that we are, that corridor is kind of our golden pathway to the rest of the city. And I think it's important that we keep it maintained the best we can, and not let these corporations or wealthy individuals kind of land bank these spaces and just let them sit there until they're worth double or triple or 10 times what they were worth when they bought them. Anyway, I just thought you guys might want to consider that for future consideration, and I thank you again for all your services. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone on the phone line? Anyone else?
Pam Triolo. Oh, there's no pen up here. Okay. I ran into Mayor Hardy the other day, and of course I just had to say leash law to him, and he made a comment about, when people ask what are the pressing problems with our town, he just says dogs. And I kind of admit that it's not high on the totem pole unless you're the person that a dog, and they're not stray dogs, their master is 100 yards away, runs up to you and your dog, or you alone, and may knock somebody down. Then it becomes a high priority. So I really hope that we'll get everything in gear and get that leash law done, so I don't have to come up here and talk about leash laws anymore. I do want to say this town is very accessible. The council is, and it's becoming more accessible ADA. But everybody, I was a part of the original workshop, and everybody we asked met with us. In fact, we met with Ned just the other day, and I kept running into him, and then he came to emergency aid, and then he was at the ceremony for the Episcopal Church getting the awards, so we decided we got to stop running into each other like that. I'm glad you're having the meeting on Monday, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what's being done. So I will be there and I will spread the word. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone on the phone line? Anyone else here? Seeing none, we will close public comment and move to council report. Go ahead.
Thank you. So this past 2 weeks, I was able to serve on the board of Clark County School District's Facility Board and discuss the budget that they want to go forward with, for being able to look at the schools that they have. It's very interesting. They said that numbers are actually going down because families are having fewer kids. So right now they're at an all-time high for high school students, but it is decreasing as time goes on. So they're going to have to reconfigure a couple of the schools. And as always, there are ones that are older and newer and that need some tender loving care. So I get to hear all of that. A huge thank you to all who put on Historic Preservation Day. I was not here. It was Mother's Day weekend, and I had a chance to go spend time with my daughters and grandkids, which was nice, and so I missed it. I always get to go every year, and I always really love going to it. And I know that a lot of people put time into that, a lot of people go to it, and that it's always a great event. So I hope you had a chance to go and check out our historic preservation and opportunities and locations and things you can do and ways that you can participate, because it's really wonderful. So thank you to all those who did that. And Spring Jam. All my friends that don't live in Boulder City constantly talking about how great it is, and I love that comment, golden pathway to the rest of the city. That was great, Brandon, that we truly do have a pathway to where all of our events are held. And I might refer to it from now on as the Golden Pathway to the events. And we want people to keep coming here and enjoying what makes us special and different. And we have to care and keep our city for that. So thank you. And thank you to all who come and care and make public comment and contact us and reach out to us, because really, truthfully, more of a representative as opposed to, I think, as opposed to maybe a council person. I would think that a representative would be a better term. And I feel like it's a privilege to have the opportunity to hear what you say. So thank you.
Well, we had Bark in the Park, which, you know, it's my favorite little thing, and Seven, which we all know was a dog that was badly abused and abandoned here in Boulder City, was king of Bark in the Park. And he's a happy puppy. His tongue kind of hangs to the side because his jaw was broken so many times, and he's missing one eye. But he is the happiest little dog, has a wonderful family, and he'll be in the parade at Christmas time, so everybody will get to see him. But he's an amazing guy. I also want to remind everybody about the Best Damn Barbecue coming up. And again, that's Rotary, and they do such an amazing job in our community, and in this small community, and that somebody brought it up, that they do have the graduation for the kids so that we don't lose any of our children on graduation night, which was kind of what was happening, and that's why they started this up. It's an all-night party where the kids are locked in and can't go anywhere, and then there's a great prize at the very end. So they just do an amazing job. And so they also have this barbecue coming up, and I can't wait to eat the corn on the cob. And that's my report for today.
I'll be barbecuing.
You are.
Yes. Okay, so I didn't have any board meetings in the last couple of weeks, but I did step in for the mayor and did the annual unserviceable flag. And that is, if you have never been down at the VA cemetery, it's a really neat ceremony where they burn the flags, and they have all the members from the VA. We had Veterans Home. We had one of the ladies was World War II. I think it's Roger's mom. But anyway, that was just such a neat ceremony. We had a really good attendance. We got to literally watch the Boy Scout and Girl Scout fold the flag, which was, a little difficult for them, but it's so neat, that they're doing that at that age, and we're raising the right to good patriots. So I did that. Thank you, Mayor, for letting me do that. We had a sports open day ceremony, again, Little League. The kids, I love it. I remember my son in his Little League, and he went from third base to second base to first base and home. And you gotta love it. And so those kids, they're all over the place, but they were having fun. And I think it was like about 12 different teams, and they all were sponsored by different businesses in Boulder City and organizations. I didn't know that. So that was a beautiful day. I attended the Heart of Community Gala for the hospital. That was my first time. Beautiful. It was so much fun. I hate black tie events, so I went out and got a gown and all that stuff, but it was so neat. I got to meet somebody's mom, our attorney's mom, and we were like old friends. We were just gabbing, and I met Ned's wife and just had a wonderful, wonderful time there. And I met Mrs. Denton for the first time, face to face. That's who they honored her, and that was beautiful. So this is Boulder City. That's the heart of Boulder City. All these little things, from veterans to the kids to honoring our seniors that have poured their heart out in Boulder City all their lives. And we get a chance to, it was an honor just to give her a hug. So that was my couple of weeks, and it was a lot of fun. Historic Preservation Day. We missed you because you are always there. And again, the Historic Preservation Commission put on a really, really good event this year. The weather was beautiful. I didn't make the spring jam. I have allergies. It was kind of crazy out there this weekend. But lastly, I just want to thank you guys, the residents, the ones on TV, the ones that are here. As Councilman Jorgen said, is that we're here for you. You elected us, and anything we could do to help make life better here in Boulder City, we're residents too. So anything that we do is for our benefit as well. So I just thank you. We got a lot of challenges coming up, and I love it because it makes neighbors talk to each other, good or bad. It makes everybody talk and work on something as one. And so thank you all for what you do in our community. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. I appreciate what everyone else is doing. And I was approached by Susan Reams, the daughter of Bill Beadle, and he started a gesture of goodwill for Bill to honor his legacy and inspire compassionate action through our communities. And this initiative encourages individuals to perform acts of kindness. Great or small, they reflect the heart and the values of Bill Beadle. So we obviously honor not just Bill, but his daughter and all those who are participating or have participated in those acts of volunteerism, those acts of being kind. We really do have a kind city, and unique in so many ways that we've heard about today and that we hear about periodically. I do have some good news as well. I went to DMV today.
That's good news.
And it was a spur of the moment kind of thing because I had applied for my driver's license to be renewed by mail, like they tell you can. And as the time grows short, like as in, I'm not looking for presents, but my birthday's in 4 days, and I don't have a license. So I said, oh, I'm in the neighborhood, I'll stop by. And so I walked in, and DMV was packed. I mean, if there was a chair that didn't have somebody in it, there was one quickly taken. So I stood in line, and I found out that there's an information line. And so you can go in the information line, and it only had probably about 30 some odd people in it, and there were at least 6 people just answering questions. And so the line went pretty fast. So I get up to the person and I give her my driver's license that's going to be expired, and she said, "This is expired, yes." And so she gets on her magic computer and says it was approved for renewal on the 8th of May, and it'll probably be in your mailbox in 2 days. Yes. So I had a wonderful experience at DMV, and you know, they have the plastic shields protecting everybody, and I said, "Well, is there a way I can kiss you?" I mean, it was a wonderful experience at DMV. It's hard to believe that made a wonderful experience. So the town hall, we look forward to it this coming Monday at 5 o'clock at the Smith Building to talk about those questions with what we're going to do. But another sweet thing I had to happen at the gala, there was a silent auction, and Sarah Denton painted a picture in 1970, and I won the silent auction. And
You were bidding against me.
and I have no sorrow for you. I won, I got it, and I'm thrilled.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's hanging up in my house. And Jill and I both looked at it and said, "That is pretty." So
It is gorgeous.
I
love
would
it.
say
And I was
sorry,
bidding
but I'm
on
not.
that. But you got it in
I
the
got
end.
it. Yep, I got it. And it's beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, Sarah Denton truly is a beautiful person out and inside. She's just a wonderful person who has given so much to this community and so much to the people who live in this area. She's 100 years old, and she's with it. And what a sweet experience we had honoring her in this gala that we had this last week, and it was just sweet experience. We've heard the budget, we've heard all these things that happened today. We really do have a wonderful city, and we appreciate everybody who has pitched in so many ways that we just heard about. We participate, and we care. And welcome to Boulder City, and I will say, if we don't have anything else to do, we do have one more thing.
Really fast, we have that sign when you come into town that says Boulder City Eagles, 135, is it? We have people going to state for swim. We have people going to state, there's boys volleyball playing right now for the state championship. And we have, let's see, swim, golf, I don't want to miss anything, volleyball. Oh, I'm missing one or two. Swim, did I say that? So think about the kids, and they're graduating within the next week, the seniors, and they're getting out of school, so be careful. When you're driving around, you can see a lot more of them this summer, so be careful.
Thank you. Okay, I have to say this too. So, speaking of seniors, so Jill and I were tasked with being a sub for, Jill was the sub, I was the hanger-oner, to sub for Sherry's class that she teaches. And so I went with Jill, and I knew we were going to be teaching junior and senior students. And so I, because I like to be prepared, I took some 3.5 by 5 cards, file cards with me, so the students, if they didn't have something, they could write on those, and I took extra pens. And what a cultural shock we had. They don't use pens. They don't use paper. It's all on their phone. And so I walked out with all of my cards and all of my pens, and nobody bit. I mean, it's all on their phones. We have a different world, and we have some really sharp kids. And they are learning and growing, developing at exponential rates, compared with how the rest of us learn. So we are very grateful for the students that we have and the teachers that we have that are so good at teaching in this community. With that, meeting's adjourned.
Well, I'm glad you got the picture if I didn't get it, because I was bidding.